Okay, Cobb Middle School, we're going to start off with some key words for today's notes for solving inequalities. So the first one is equal, and you guys know that an equal symbol looks like this. The next one is a greater than. Greater than would look like that. And then we have less than. Then we have greater than or equal to. And then we have less than or equal to. So some key words that might help you find out whether or not to put an equal sign, a greater than, a less than, or greater than or equal to, or a less than or equal to. If starting with the equal column, go ahead and jot these down on your notes. Congruent, when you see the word congruent, that is referring to an equal sign. Some other words that you might see: total is the same as, exactly, and the word is. For greater than, you might see some key words like exceeds, increased, more than, larger than, above, and is higher than. For less than, you ready for this one? Less than might come up in the text. Fewer than. Below. And a better deal. For greater than or equal to, you might see at least, referring to greater than or equal to. You might see minimum. Is not less than. Not similar than. Similar. Smaller. Can't even read my own handwriting. So that one is not smaller than. For less than or equal to, you're going to see at most. Not more than. Is not greater than. And maximum. Okay, the next thing I'd like to show you is some things about graphing inequalities. So when we graph inequalities, you might just want to jot this somewhere on the side of your handout. Just as a reminder, less than or the greater than symbol is going to be an open circle on our graph. So this would mean that it would not be included as part of the solution. If you see a less than or equal to, a greater than or equal to, it's going to be what we call a closed circle. And a closed circle would mean that you would include this number as part of the solution to your inequality. When we talk about solutions of inequalities, we're talking about answers that you could put in that would make the statement true. When we graph our arrows, here's a little trick that might help you. If you make the inequality a Pac-Man symbol, Some of you might know the Pac-Man game. If the Pac-Man's mouth is going for the variable, the arrow will always go to the right. If the Pac-Man's mouth is going for the constant or the number, the arrow's always going to go to the left. So 2 quick examples. If I had y is greater than 4, I know that that's going to be an open circle on 4. And when I make it a Pac-Man, notice the mouth of Pac-Man. It's going for the variable, which means the arrow would go to the right. So all solutions to the right of positive 4 would make this statement true. For my second example, I'm going to have a closed circle on 3. If you were to make it a Pac-Man, the mouth of Pac-Man is going for the number this time, which means the arrow would go to the left. This is telling me that anything to the left of 3, any number to the left of 3, as well as 3, would make the statement true. At this point, 7th and 8th graders, you're going to stop the video and go on to video number 2. 6th grade, stay here. Okay, 6th graders, so we're going to continue on, and if we can look at this first equation down here, 50x is greater than 250. So we've learned that when we have a number next to a variable, that means multiplication. So the first thing that we're probably going to want to do is show it as 50 times x is greater than 250. You've learned the word inverse, and we know that the word inverse means opposite. So the opposite of multiplication, or the inverse of multiplication, would be division. One way that we learn to show division now is with a fraction bar. The rule of equations and inequalities, whatever we do to one side, we must do to the other side. So 50 divided by 50 is going to give me 1. And 1 times x is going to be x. 250 divided by 50 would be 5. And then I want to bring my inequality symbol down. So if you were reading the instructions, it says to solve and graph. So we just solved x is greater than 5. Now what we need to do is graph our answer on the number line. So I'm going to put 5, then 6, then 7. And so if you think back to what we were just talking about earlier, we're going to have an open circle on 5. If I were to make this inequality a Pac-Man, Pac-Man's hungry for the variable today. So he looks like it's going to go to the right. So this means that all solutions would be to the right of 5, but not including 5. For number 2, we're going to rewrite it as negative 4 times t less than or equal to 20. Inverse of multiplying is division. For this one, we have a special circumstance. We have a negative coefficient. We have a negative number in front of our variable. When this happens, we must reverse the inequality. So this less than or equal to symbol is going to become greater than or equal to. 20 divided by negative 4 will be a negative 5. So t is greater than or equal to negative 5. So on my number line, we're going to show all of our possible solutions. So we will have negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. So I'm going to have a closed circle on negative 5, which means negative 5 could be one of my solutions. It would make that statement true. Negative 5 is equal to negative 5. If I make my Pac-Man, Pac-Man's hungry for the variable again, so the arrow would go to the right. Last question. Number 3. We're going to make a quick change to number 3. If you could put a little equal line underneath B's inequality. So when I do this one, I'm trying to figure out, would 4 going into X make the statement true? So negative 10 times 4, is that greater than 40? Well, negative 10 times 4 is negative 40, and we know that negative 40 is to the left of positive 40 on the number line. Therefore, it must be less than, not greater to. So this is false. When I do B, I'm going to have 10 times 4 is greater than or equal to 40. And 10 times 4 is 40. And 40 is not greater than 40, but it is equal to, which makes the statement true. So the answer to number 3 is B. Okay, we're going to stop there, and you can go on to finish the worksheet for today.